weapons though that I need to sell.
Okay, so who is heading out to sell artistry pieces?
I am Ashkar. I believe Fluffy's character Zirian was joining me.
Hmm.
All right. Let's see. So what if I
Like just
go
for the sake of company.
Do you have the
trade word?
persuasion covered?
Yes, I have persuasion covered.
Okay.
I'm no rogue. I don't have expertise, but I have persuasion covered.
Okay. I'm gonna go sell weapons.
And Zirian, did you put all the funds in the bag of holding, like in the group in the party funds? I looked at the handout, but I don't see any text.
I think we all got. I think we all took the money for ourselves this time because
Mhm.
a lot of
I
us
have
probably wanted to upgrade your equipment.
2,300 copper, 1,000 silver, and 40 gold pieces, a bang slip, a potion of healing, and I put my hemp and rope in
How
there.
many bags of holding do you have?
Hello?
I think we
Hello?
only have the one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, right. I remember what I was doing. I was gonna sell potions.
Yeah. Yeah, because I gave you guys the to get the bag of holding that actually is a person, so you could just drag and drop stuff in there, make it easier to instead of trying to write it back and forth.
Uh, who has access to that? Because I can't get to the character sheet part of that.
It's in the handouts.
Oh, I only
Yeah,
see
yeah,
bio
that's what I
info.
mean.
Yeah,
I don't have access to it myself.
it's in everyone's journal, and Fluffy is the one that was agreed to control it.
Okay. I'm saying we also can't see inside of it. We only have bio and info where it shows the picture of the bag.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So we can't actually
you
drag
can't
and drop something
you
in
can't
there.
look in your sorry you the rest of you can't look at the character sheet.
We can.
No, we only have bio and info.
Okay,
That's the only tab we have.
All right, so that's why I wanted to ask. Okay, I'm gonna put this as all players then.
Okay.
Now you should be able to look. Okay, so now I'm gonna read the general summary from last time since it's been a while.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys got your provisions for your trip. Uh, you went off and did a few things on your own. You spent a day traveling. You made your way into this old temple. The top floor of which was, or the ground floor rather, was already cleared out. You read some information in there that was an abyssal. Saw, oddly enough, imp statues sitting in the by the chapel. You found a vault that was heavily guarded by a bunch of traps. You managed to get around that without dying, thankfully. You got in there and found a whole lot of stuff, as well as the item that the guy that brought you here in the first place wanted. You also took down a bunch of zombies, if I recall right. He paid you for the item, and actually, it turned out to be two items, and sent you guys on your way after bringing you back to the city. So, all in all, not that bad for a couple of days worth of work, considering just how much money you made. And now you also have some art pieces. And because of that, Ashkar and Zirin are off to find a gallery or something like that to sell them to.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to the rest of you, one of your companions, the Wolven, after taking his share, which he had in his inventory, not in the bag of holding, decided to set off on his own, deciding that he had no further interest in this partnership. Alrighty. So, you head down to the trade ward, and it's much as you remember it, Ashkar, since you spent a lot of time here. And because you spent a lot of time here, Ashkar, you remember that off one of the streets there is a pretty nice gallery that's been there for, like, I think about 2 years now. A place called the Vitash Gallery. Given your firm of lifestyle, I am not certain you've ever been in there, though. Would that be correct?
Yeah. He's He's a kind of he's the kind of person where he cooks delicious food, but it's trashy in the eyes of high society.
Yeah.
Like very much a home cooking, simple kind of person.
Yeah, and this
So he went out
at any
into
place
a
you
gallery.
pass by it, it's like looks like one of the more, highfalutin places. A kind of place that Tyrion would be more familiar with.
He'd look at it and like, that looks pretty, but it's too rich for my blood.
Yeah.
And he'd go down to somewhere a little more his speed.
So,
That's fair.
but I mean that would be the most likely place for you to drag your new friend Zirin off to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll go ahead and head in there.
And it is a lovely space, wide open, with pillars along the walls. You can definitely see various kinds of art, various paintings, some of which appear to be grouped. They're grouped together in different ways. Some of them definitely look like they might have the same hand at work, and others that look like random paintings that somebody is putting up for sale. Interspaced around that are some beautiful sculptures. Made with a kind of red copperish colored clay with flecks of like ash black running, done up in different styles. Like you see one that looks like a small minotaur statue, another one that looks kind of like a knoll perhaps, and some other statues that are just a bit harder to compare. Stepping from one of the back rooms, kind of wearing an apron with small splatters of that kind of like reddish, coppery
Painter's smock.
clay. Yeah, well, not a painter's smock actually; it's a sculptor's smock. But you see splattered with is a tabaxi woman, spotted, kind of like a lean, tall, muscular, but like muscular runners type body, swishing out from the back.
Think about it in animal terms, built like a
He looks more like a cheetah, but they're not a separate species.
Okay, but it'd be very athletic.
Yeah,
not heavy.
they are a type of tabaxi, but they're not unlike the leonin, the lions. Lions are completely separate species. Tabaxi have a bunch of variants, and one of them is cheetah variant. They don't look like house cats, but they are still member of the same species.
I just want to make sure I'm imagining the right build.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you basically see a cheetah woman stepping out from the back there with a sculptor's smock on. And she smiles invitingly. Hello! Welcome to the gallery. Are you looking to buy, or are you looking to set up things for sale?
I'm actually looking up things to sell. I recently went on an expedition with my friend here, with a man of the scholarly variety. I found some interesting pieces.
Oh, let us see them then.
I'll go, I guess, to a table and then have Zirian pull them out of the bag.
Yeah, she kind of like
And
walks
I
you
believe
over
it was
to-
like 3 paintings and 2 sculptures.
Yeah, she kind of like walks you over towards a table, and like there's a couple of little looks like flyers sitting on the side of them. She kind of pushes them slightly off to the side to give you room, and extends a hand.
He'll set them down one gently, setting them down.
And what exactly do we have here?
As a player, I don't recall the descriptions of each of the pieces, but is it okay if I give a general description in character?
Sure. I'm trying to remember how much I said each of them were worth. 100. Yeah, each of them were worth 150 gold. Yeah.
So, as I said, we recently went on an expedition with a scholarly type, and we went to an old, I guess you'd call it a ruin, with people of the infernal variety that used to take up residence. We found these art pieces amongst the wreckage. And I'm assuming you've noticed the dork flavoring of the art.
Oh, yes. She kind of like squints her eyes. I thought you said infernal. This looks more of a demonic to me. She turns one of them
Admittedly,
over.
I'm not an educated feller. I could never tell the difference.
Mm,
To be fair, it did have a little bit of both in that place.
Huh.
It's a weird place.
well, demon art can be. I'm trying to remember what the. Oh, gala. There we go. I was thinking I wanted to say the word gallery again, but that didn't make any sense. Well, we're having a gala in a few days. I can put them up then and see if there's any bidders. You might be able to make some more money. No guarantees on that, though.
Zirian, what do you think? Personally, I'd prefer to get them off our hands so we can work on other things.
That's my personal opinion as well.
Well, I think the flat fee will be best, and that will allow you
Alright.
to take your time to find a proper buyer.
Well, I'll have them displayed here at the gallery. How many items are you selling?
I believe it was 3 paintings and 2 sculptures, because
So
Greg is
5.
keeping one of the paintings.
Okay, so that's 5 items. 5 times 150. Yay, math.
750.
Alright. I can give you 750 gold for these.
I will happily take that. And more, if I may ask. Pardon my...
Olive, she
this,
says, patting her chest. And you are?
I'm Ishkor. And I'm sorry, the audio cut out. I didn't hear the name.
Olive.
Olive. Thank you. But Olive, if I may, I personally am not the artist type, but I do cook up a mean pot of grub. Do you need catering for the evening?
Well,
At
we
the
do have that
gall.
taken care of, but what kind of food are you offering?
Honestly, every kind. As you can see, I'm not exactly local, and I've picked up a few local dishes. I have a tendency
So-
just to
So you're from
throw
down
whatever ingredients
so you're
I
from down
can.
south then, I take it?
Mm-hmm. Though quite young, I picked up some dishes from my mom before she kicked the bucket, so to speak.
Afraid I don't know much about what you serve. Is it the kind of food that people would like on plates or bowls, or is it carry around? Is it messy? What is it?
Typically, my food is a bit messier. For me, the mess is half the fun. But admittedly, a lot of my work was on the streets, so it did have to have a certain amount of cleanliness so people could eat. Typically, I go for very food, lots of garlic, butter.
Some of the people attending might get a kick out of some ethnic food from down south.
And admittedly, a lot of my skills are not just generic cooking. And I'll kind of pop a little bit of my flames in my hand. I've always had a bit of a magical touch to my dishes. Make a bit of a performance out of it.
That's quite nice. Well, we don't really need performance. Most of the people who are coming, they do enjoy music. Do you know anybody of a musical persuasion?
I may, but very unlikely. But I appreciate the offer nonetheless.
Well, if you are making some food, I can't guarantee people will be interested in it necessarily. But probably be interested in, having some extra nibbles. And as I said, it might be interesting for them to have something, some more ethnic food.
Mm.
And there might be, of course, some of your own former countrymen who come and visit. With any luck, we will have some people, some diplomats visiting, and they might appreciate that.
Well, I would be happy to come along. I just figured I'd offer. Food, cooking is really the only art I've been able to appreciate myself.
Can you do 50 portions, do you think?
Well, happily. And I'll kind of I'll motion at the massive walk club that I carry. This will probably get half of that in one.
She thinks for a moment. How much does it cost for supplies for 50, do you think?
Well, depending on what I make, it could make it relatively inexpensive. Using Royce or certain types of noodles, it can be quite filling without much at all. If I may ask, are there dietary restrictions?
Well, as long as you know what you're offering, anybody with
Mhm.
dietary restrictions will tell them to you. But what I mean is, you wouldn't have to stand in front of a wok. It'd be something that you create ahead of time and have waiting for people to pick up or to put neatly onto a plate, and you can just be there to tell any ingredients that they might not be able to stomach.
Hmm.
But you give you a chance
I-
to at least look around at the gallery at the same time.
I think what I'll probably do, just for the versatility and what's the word? As a player, I can't think of the word. Like when things look very similarly, like when they like conformity. Thank you. A nice stir fry. It can be carried around, not too messy, and for those with if you have a community with a more carnivorous taste,
Well, my husband and I are both carnivores, so
I'll throw a little bit of protein in there, or some kind of finely sliced steak for those of a more herbivorous persuasion. Nice peppers, mushrooms, get a lot of color and variety. What do you think? Half of each, or would you like a bit more variety than that?
half of each would be fine. As I said, that we do have caterers on site, but it'd be worth it to have a little extra.
Well, I will happily provide. What time?
Well, I would say you should be here around 6 in the evening to set up, and the food should be ready by 7 at the latest. People will start coming in just soon after that, and it'll be a good evening. It should be.
That's definitely doable. I'll get the ingredients tonight and work on my recipes. To confirm, was it tomorrow or the next?
2 days from now. It'll be. Open page. Open right page. Sorry, my notes have gotten mixed up a little bit. It'll be on Triskelion 29.
I'll make sure to be there. Is there a certain entrance I should use, like a servant's entrance?
Yeah. Well, there's not a servant's entrance, more of a delivery entrance, and you and the other caterers and musicians will be gathered back there, and there should be room for each of you to either set up and warm up as needed.
Right. I'll talk to my friends, see if I can bring any musicians along. I'll come early in case you would like to.
If anybody is good with is working practice at waiting staff, those are also useful.
I might know a couple people.
Do you have a specific charge in mind, or, as I said, I was asking about ingredients. How much each of how much your ingredients might cost you?
For 50 portions, especially something to carry around, should not be too large at all. As a player, I'm still getting a feel for the economy, so I wouldn't be able to give a specific cost myself. But I would think for 50 people, especially if I'm trying to do...
The way I always think of it is, typically a copper is $1. And these are like the richer folks here, so, usually a gold or a couple of gold is what, a fine steak, for example, would be a gold or two.
What I'm thinking, honestly, is like the real equivalent, like a stir fry with like a flank steak, but like cut thinly enough to where the texture really doesn't have a big impact.
So yeah, that would be like a silver right there, or even several, or even 5 copper, depending on how much of ingredients cost.
Like 50 portions, obviously that would be a fair amount of protein, but what I'm trying to do, it wouldn't be like half noodle, half protein. It would be like maybe 3 or 4 ounces of steak within one portion.
Yeah.
So that's a pound of steak. That's 4 portions. So it'd probably be around 2 or 3 gold for 50 people.
All right. So what's
Actually,
go ahead.
so I'm just trying to think it costs a steak. A lot of the steak I'm thinking about is like $4 a pound. 4 copper. Yeah, 3 gold actually would be a high mark. Let's go with a silver, or sorry, a gold and 5 silver. Honestly, worst case, I can just cover the extra cost.
So she basically says, this thinking to herself, like, you know, the ingredients and all that. She says, "All right, this sounds like I think 25 gold sounds reasonable for a night's work."
All
And
right.
you said you have staff that you can bring.
I have people I can think of, new promises, and I'll come early so I can tell you who I might have found.
Yes, and I'd be willing to pay them an extra gold apiece, and you can distribute the rest of whatever money I pay you any way you see fit for them, if you wish to pay them in addition.
All right. Thank you kindly. We will take our leave.
You're most welcome. Meanwhile, what are Grekshu and Larceny doing?
If I remember correctly, I was trying to sell my potions, but that takes like a few weeks in order to complete that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were looking for you're sussing out buyers, for potions that would be on the magic items table, since you don't have any current contacts with any of the magic stores. Let's see if I actually put the handout here. No, I did not bring the handout into this game. It's in the downtime. Between adventures, downtime. Information. Complications, come on. Which was it again?
It was an elixir of health, a potion of healing superior, a potion of heroism, and some of your what are these? The diminutive, whatever. The one that makes you small or big.
Diminutive delusion?
Reminds me of Big Work and Big
Diminution?
Potion, there we go.
Yeah, that one's hard to pronounce.
And I wrote down that it was rare. All of these are rare.
I still think we should keep the superior one, but what you decide, what you do with it is your choice. Is the superior the 4d4?
Let me check.
I know it's a lot.
Superior is the 8d4.
Whew.
So maybe keep the superior one then?
Actually, only a few of us even, I don't think any of us even have 8d4 worth of health.
Yeah,
Some of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of the extra bonus on top of it, other than maybe Zirian. I'm not even going to have the conversation. I'm just vaguely recalling me saying, like, last time, maybe we should keep it. But that's also a lot of money that we could use for armor that would prevent us from taking those hits in the first place. To really do what you want.
Yeah, I was just planning to sell all these.
Yeah. It'd be really nice to get some magical equipment on us. That would really save our hides, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of us weren't even able to do full damage to that ghost a while back, so it might be good to actually have some magic weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even the symbol is silver.
Mm-hmm. Well, just again, a reminder: people don't really realize that. Most people think that ghosts are not real.
Well, we ended up fighting them, so
yes.
we kind of don't have a choice.
No, what I mean by that is that most people that because you don't realize, know that ghosts are necessarily real, you wouldn't in character necessarily know that silver can deal with ghosts because of that. It's not well known.
Oh no, I'm just thinking of like a +1 weaponry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'd like giving the silver option, forgetting about this world's lore about ghosts and whatnot, because I think you can silver a +1 weapon. Like you can silver an already magic weapon
Yes, you
as
can.
long as it has a blade to silver.
Hmm.
Cough, cough, sunblade. Cough, cough.
Yeah, some blade's like the only blade that does not have a blade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it's actually a lightsaber.
Yeah, Sunblaze is a fucking lightsaber.
Which amused me because in what was it, the Last Order or uh, the Dark Souls like Jedi one, you actually
Yeah,
Star Wars, you use it as a
Fallen.
flashlight in dark areas.
Yeah, that's the Fallen Order. Yeah, and yes,
Oh.
you do.
Yeah, my dad has a copy of that. Even though I've like played like very little of that game, because I think I got it on a Xbox Gold at one point, and I don't think I subscribed to Xbox Gold anymore. My dad, when I go over to his house, he sometimes asks me, "It's like I've gotten stuck at this one point. Can you come help?" I'm like, okay, I can try, but you're far more ahead in this game than I am. All I can do is give you a second set of eyes, and my years of video game experience.
Was it the game is fun when you get a hand of, or when you get good with all the different combo systems? There's so much cool shit you can do. It's ridiculous.
So you're trying to sell potions.
Yes, I am.
All right, give me an investigation roll. Hello?
I don't have this set up properly. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you didn't hear me.
There you go. And that is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, you spend all the time that your companions are out schmoozing at the gallery, uh, looking for a place to sell, and you are one lost level.
Um, can I go to the trade war to sell swords?
Sure. And let's see, a sword costs how much?
To be exact, short swords and 4 bows.
Oh yeah. Silvering, by the way, in this game would probably be a bit more expensive than normal, simply because precious metals are hard to find since nobody digs.
Mm.
So you would actually have to go to a specialist and spend a lot of money for things like silver or adamantine. Like adamantine would be incredibly rare. You probably that would be like a extremely rare resource to find. Uh, what items again?
Short swords and a
Type
and
thematic.
bows.
I don't know how many you're trying to sell.
3 short swords, 4 bows. I presume they're short bows because it's not long bows, probably.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to type out the numbers. I keep anytime I
Okay,
look at
sorry.
another number, it suddenly drops out of my head how many numbers you said of something. I have to keep referencing back in the written. I'm sorry.
It's none.
Math. I'm one of those people who's never going to memorize the many digits of pi.
Mm.
Oh.
3.141 is about all I can remember.
Yeah, 3.14159.265 is all I got.
Yeah, see, that's more than I do.
3.14.
Okay, so 15. Okay, 15 gold for the swords. This is net. This is how much altogether the swords cost. For selling all three, you get 15 gold. And for the 4 short bows, and 50 gold for the 4 short bows. So that is 65 gold altogether.
I'm making money.
Yes, yes, you are.
There wouldn't happen to be like a super cheap magic store?
Roll investigation. Ooh.
Pretty good.
Where are you looking?
Probably either maybe the guild ward or the trade ward, or maybe Dyktop?
Oh well,
I'm not
you were
100%
in the
sure.
trade ward just to sell stuff.
Yeah.
But like I said, which place are you investigating?
Um, I presume cheap magical items would be in the trade ward. That's probably the area I'll investigate. If I can't find it there, I'll approach a guard.
All right. Meanwhile, Larceny, what are you doing?
I was thinking of going to the trade ward and how people are probably running around doing their own thing, not really thinking of what they're doing. I would probably just try and pickpocket some people.
Oh no. All right. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Um, did that not go in? Wait, hold on. I'll just do the.
Just saying, I've never gotten to do a jailbreak session in D&D. Fair warning, Larceny.
And I'm going to use one of my psionic die to increase the skill check.
To what?
I roll a 1d6 and add on to it.
All right. Roll the 1d6.
Oh my god.
Actually, I rolled an 11, so that was actually what you needed.
Oh, thank god.
All right. You managed to snag something and slip away without anybody noticing.
Sweet.
Well, I think that Larcen's gonna be the new Char.
What?
Having a bonus over 10, never rolling above 10.
Yeah, he was the cursed. No, actually, he wasn't an elf in that game for some reason. He usually
was a
plays
druid.
elves. The druid in another game.
Yep. He had like plus 11 or 12 or 13 to wisdom at one point, but only rolled above a 20 on his perception rolls like twice over an entire campaign.
Oh
Nice.
no. Ooh. 55 silver pieces.
In a pouch.
Wait, do I have the pouch?
Yes, you do.
Sweet, I have a new wallet.
Or all silverware. New pouch!
Oh, that's what he's more excited about, having a new pouch.
Well, leather can be expensive, I think.
Leather's not that expensive compared to certain items.
Like 55 silver.
No, it's not more expensive than 55.
So who next? What's our buddy the owl up to?
Oh, I went already. I tried looking
Well,
for a place to sell my
everyone's
potions
gone.
and
Yeah,
failed
like
miserably.
poor Shiu is just been wandering back and forth looking for treasure and finding nothing. I mean, sorry, looking to sell and is finding nothing.
Okay.
And
Just for the sake of hand waving, like, just for speed, like, can we just hand wave my ingredients?
yeah.
Cool.
So you go back out and buy that with Zirian in tow. Grek, on the other hand, has found a little stall that seems to be selling tiny, small magical items. There is a one-eyed gnoll with a like a snaggly tooth, kind of like peering down over the edge at the frog. Yes, can I help you?
Greg, you good?
Gwen.
Sorry. I had to do something. Yes, do I find a shop?
You find a booth.
A
And
booth.
there is a one-eyed gnoll with a snaggletooth, staring over the edge of it, looking down at you.
Hello, good sir. I was
Can
wondering,
help you?
do you have some cheap magic items?
Nothing's cheap, but I do have magic items.
Do you have a stool so I can look at them?
I do not have stool, but what's you looking for? I have a couple of things.
I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm pretty. What are the cheapest things you have? Cause I'm not that rich yet.
That depends. How can you can you pay for them with?
I have money. You do not take souls, right?
No, I'm not that kind.
So can I take a look? Do you have like any rings or staffs or like cool
I
50 bolts?
I have a few rings, I think. Depends on what you need them for.
Okay. I don't know any magical rings actually. Do you have some very expensive looking rings? But that are not expensive, but look expensive.
Given that you are a frog, the one expensive looking ring that is not expensive that I have would be of no use to you.
How do you know?
Because it is a ring of swimming.
Oh yeah, that's just do you have some fancy clothes that make me look cool?
I'm not a clothing shop.
But like
I
a
have
cool.
I have a few rings here. Just a few.
What do they do?
I have a ring with a little brain on it. It looks a bit cool, doesn't it? He holds up a ring between two clawed fingers.
That does look cool.
I have the ring, of course, that helps you swim. I have another ring that helps you jump. I have a ring that is made out of sapphires. It is very pretty.
Ooh. Oh. Are those all? Okay, sorry.
I also have a ring. I have 6 rings. He states actually. He puts them in a little thing and shows them out to you, and most of them look kind of jumbled. Some of them look a little pretty, but you see a simple band with pictures of like little creatures on it. You see a band with sapphires on it. You see a band with what looks like a brain on it. You see a band with what looks like a picture of a frog on it. Another band with a picture of a fish, and one that seems to have a picture of like a fire on it or something like that.
Ooh. Can I take a closer look at the fiery one and the one with the animal things?
He kind of plucks them out. He looks at the animal one for a moment and says, "This is the most expensive of them. Do you have money for expensive?"
I have a bit of money. How expensive is it?
Pretty expensive. And he seems to shut his good eye for a moment while still holding the ring.
What about 75 gold?
Ha! Way more than that. It is
80.
several thousand gold.
150.
And he takes away the animal-looking ring, but still holds up the ring with the fire. The fire. What looks like it to be like a little fireplace on it, or not fireplace. Sorry, campfire. It looks more like a campfire.
How much for that campfire ring? What does it do?
The starting price on that one is 400 gold, and it keeps you warm. You can be all the way up the mountains, all the way in the north or the south, and still your body would not freeze.
Campfire with me all the time. What about the one with the cool emeralds in it?
This one, I also do not know if it'd be much use for you, Froggy.
What does it do?
It is a ring of water walking. Not emeralds, sapphires. If I said emeralds, I'm sorry.
Oh. You don't have any for frog people. What about there's a brain one and he had 6. So brain, water walking, water breathing, too expensive. What else was there? The brain and there's one else that might be useful.
A jump height.
Oh yeah, jump now.
I still have the picture of the frog on it.
God damn it. How cool is the frog?
It looks like a pretty cool frog. Looks like a frog that's more than your size.
Okay. So how much does that one cost? The cool one with the frog.
That is only 100 gold.
Oh, and what about the one with the brain?
Give me 1 second. I just need to leave that drawer open. The ring of mind shielding. It is 600 gold.
So about that frog ring.
Yes. It does match you. While wearing the ring, you can jump much higher, faster. While wearing this ring, you can cast the jump spell as a bonus action, but you can only target yourself when you do so. At will.
Uh-huh.
Good. Making the frog jump higher.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said 100 gold?
100 gold for the ring.
How about 85 and a reading?
Roll persuasion. What sort of reading?
Oh, I have many readings, but I can tell you one thing about your future. One thing that will be of immense importance.
Let us see the 85 gold. I think I like this.
Okay. I give him 85 gold.
The reading?
Yes, I'll get on it. So, if you want, you can ask me a question about the future, and I will tell you the answer.
It has to be a specific question.
It can be any kind of question that you want.
The Knoll seems to ponder this for a minute or two. He's kind of like watching you unsettlingly, seemingly with the bad eye for some reason. You just get this weird impression that he's watching you with the eye that cannot see. Kind of like chomps his jaws up together a bit. Will I... He thinks for a moment. Does the future hold anything good for me?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I shuffle my cards. I take the top card off and I put it down. Ah! The Ace of Wands. This card represents new beginnings and opportunities. It tells me that there's gonna be something unexpected and new entering your life very soon. And if you follow this new thing or acquire it, it will bring the thing you seek most. It will bring you happiness. It will lead you on a journey to find what you're looking for. Is that okay? Does that work?
He takes the money and pushes the ring towards your side so you can grab it.
Mine. I hop off.
Boing, boing, boing.
Gremlin frog. My shiny.
I can jump so far now. Is it triple or double?
The
I think there's
jump?
one called triples.
Yeah.
I want to say. I can look it up still though.
I actually just read it. It's triples.
Yeah, okay.
The little frog can now jump triple.
I can jump on buildings now.
Leap
I
tall
don't need to
buildings with a single bound.
I don't need to take the dirty street. I can hop from house to house. And people start being scared of a house jumping demon. Yes.
You just need to cape you with Superman.
Super frog.
Superman.
Basically, I'm gonna waddle home and I'm gonna tune to my ring.
Is everyone else heading back to the Traveler's Ward?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
All right. So you get back and discover that that your wolfy friend has left. Departed for parts unknown. Your barrel is fine, Greg. Your barrel is just fine.
What barrel?
Water.
Oh, okay.
You also still had a barrel of wine, didn't you?
Yeah, it's in my house.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
Movable house.
That's right. It's in your lamp.
Yeah, together with my cool ass shiny bathtub that's filled with bucky water by now.
Hmm.
I don't even know how you get that stuff switched out because it's all stagnant and gross.
I just turn the thing upside down and then whoosh, all the water's out, and then I open a faucet, put a little bit of water in there, and boom, done.
You're strong enough to flip over a shiny bathtub?
I'm strong enough to flip over a lamp.
Does the pocket dimension inside the lamp follow orientation
I
like
have
the outside world?
I
have
just
no
It's actually a really good
I
question.
just figured that nothing in the lamp can actually grow, and therefore it can't stagnate.
Yeah.
That works
I'm-
too.
I mean, I'm always as clean as I can be, you know.
Yeah, but for all you know, there is
Anyway.
some kind of mold or bacteria or fungus that is resistant to your poison. Because I'm sure Gret gets sick.
I mean, probably, but
Yeah, but what I mean is that I think that the properties inside the lamp prevent that sort of growth from happening as a
Yeah.
result of its properties.
Yeah.
I clean it from time to time. It's fine. Anyway, what were you guys doing today?
Sold some art pieces. I think
Yes, we did. And we have a potential job for us. Not a big one, but a pleasant way to spend an evening.
What do we need?
Not much. There's a where I sold the artwork. There's a gala, I think she called it. There's some potential work to be had. I will be providing some catering, showing up an hour or so early to get all that done. Zirian might be waiting on some people, helping them clear out the refuse. Greg, don't touch the food. Just no. But there's
But what if I'm hungry?
you can touch your food, but no
Okay.
waiting tables. But they also mentioned other
Oh
wait
god,
staff as well as entertainment.
the thought of a grung waiter right now, that's hilarious imagery in my head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just
But,
need to wear like plastic gloves. It's fine.
But they
Plastic
also
does not exist in
requested.
this world.
Goat guts.
Isn't latex a rubber?
No, plastic. Plastic is petroleum based.
I could use goat guts. Fine.
But what about things like latex? Because rubber's from a tree.
Yeah, latex is not plastic. He
I
specified
thought he
plastic
said.
gloves.
Oh, sorry, I misheard. I thought he said latex for whatever reason. But they also asked if any of us knew how to play an instrument. Does anyone here know how to play?
I don't. I can do makeup. Granted, I don't think touching people's faces is a smart idea, but
Yeah, not a good idea. Also, is there any response from Larceny or Nye? Or do they just stare at me awkwardly?
About what?
Do you have any instruments or entertainer capabilities that involve keeping your hands to yourself?
good.
I could ask the ghost if they could teach me some performance tricks.
I can use unseen servant to give people food, like have invisible waiters.
Oh, you just have a walk next to you and basically levitate everything. All you do is
Yeah.
carry the tray.
Like I just walk and there's like trays floating. Yeah, that could work. Be impressive, right?
Ashkar looks at you disapprovingly and shakes his head. He likes the idea, but doesn't like the thought of you being anywhere near his food.
By the way, did anybody encounter any place that I could actually sell these potions?
You could go to the ward where that scholar lived. They might have some use for it.
if you want, I can tag along. Happy look.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. For the sake of handling, though, I will say that the gala is 2 days from now in the evening. It starts at 7, but we'd want to be there between 5 and 6. So you can get vetted. They can get vetted for whatever performance or service.
Hold on. What's that guild called that I found with the players that are no longer here?
Dancing sword one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, there's the Dance of Blades, and the purple. So the guilds that you guys have gotten around to, the Dance of Blades, I believe, and Purple Dragon, and I think there was
Ooh.
one other.
Isn't Purple Dragon an actual, like, in lore guild as well? Doesn't it have a class associated with it for fighters?
Yeah,
Order
Purple
of the Purple
Dragon
Dragon,
Knights.
and I did not know that when I came up with the names. So
Oh, just a coincidence, then.
it's a coincidence.
Still, neat.
And did you guys have contact with registry investigations, or is that just something I wrote down?
I don't think so.
Okay, no.
Were they the ones that wanted us to investigate the secure ward?
No.
Okay.
What do they?
Maybe I could ask the dancing swords if they could if they would be sending me out there, because it wasn't like their whole thing, like fancy
Oh,
parties and whatnot.
Sorry. Forget what I wrote down. I just realized that I'd already written down where things were. Actually, you guys asked. Oh, never mind. I wrote it in my notes. I didn't write it. I don't think I actually mentioned out loud. Never mind. Keep talking. I just realized that I completely screwed up where I had certain things at.
Written down.
Yeah, I wrote down that the gala was supposed to be on the first of Isle Prey, and that the gallery was supposed to be in the tight top word, but I moved to the trade word and I forgot about it.
Whoops.
Okay, so actually, let me redact what you said. Instead of saying the 29th of
Just Gillian.
yeah, it's actually in 4 days, I think, 4 or 5 days. It's the first of Isle Prey.
Okay, that works for me.
All I have to do is move the gallery listing from, because I wrote the information down in the Purple Dragon, not the Purple Dragon, sorry, in the Dance of Blades, because that's their next contract. They're set up to do security for the gala.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that they were talking about like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see about getting some pay from them, doing the job officially. Ashford would know this though. I think he went to guilds before he linked up. We'll all get sorted on dinner. Greg, stay out of the kitchen.
And if one of them mentioned the tight top word instead of the trade word, it's probably because that person was confused instead of just the GM confused.
Hand waving.
Well, it's like slight redaction, but you know,
Yeah.
I hate doing that, but it does happen. So
Yeah, it's more convenient. Let's just say it was rescheduled. It was originally supposed to be in 2 days, but there was a venue conflict.
no, because the venue is the gallery itself.
I was just trying to give you an excuse.
I know. I know. I just get very literal. I'm sorry. I do apologize. It's just that my brain goes very super literal at that sort of stuff. No.
I know.
Yeah.
Right.
So there,
You wanna keep
everything's fixed up.
Do you want to keep the 750 gold as group funds or split up between everybody?
I think we should split it for the group. Everyone wanted to get some new gear. Some fun, some walking around money would be nice for them.
You'll handle 150 gold everybody then, because that would be split 5 ways.
Yep.
If this had only gone sooner.
How much?
150.
150 golds. Pretty nice.
Also, I think we should split the gold from our job prior.
Weren't we gonna buy new furniture with that?
Splitting that
I'm
prior.
down for that.
Well, you could buy bunk beds so at least 2 of you can sleep at any given time in there. Right now you've only got the
But
one
also,
bed.
how expensive is furniture really?
In some underground area that you could potentially put another another set of bunk beds in or something.
Hmm.
I've been playing plenty of of Generation Zero recently.
Hey, can Can I make another attempt on what I'm trying to do?
Yes. Do you wish to move to whispers?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Well, hey, Zarian.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Unless
calculate.
there's
There you are. So, how do you wish to go about this time? Hello? Can you hear me? Ah, crap, I can't hear you. Hold on.
Oh, that's my mic.
Now I can hear you.
I guess my mic muted itself.
Yeah, I saw your mic lighting up, but I was like, I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, I don't know why, but my mic was just muted for some reason. But anyway, I was saying that I was just gonna go to his house, check if anybody was around, and get his
Well,
attention.
it is later in the evening, right? You're
Yeah.
going. Okay, so that means probably less people. Though of course there's still nocturnal races, or it is nocturnal, for example. Roll me stealth,
All right.
and you can GM roll if you don't want the others to know what you're doing. Ooh, yeah, you're confident that you are completely unseen as you slip down the darkening streets, slipping past any lamplighters that there might be, and all the way to the head of the purity cult. What do you wish to do?
So in my head is like, so is anybody? Can I make like a check to see if anybody's around?
Roll perception. You hear the occasional voices drifting from between the streets, but the entire the entire traveler's ward is packed full of people, so that's not unusual.
All right. I want to try getting is this door open? Like, is it unlocked?
High or low?
Hmm.
Uh, make a guess. High or low?
Hi.
It is currently locked.
Okay. So I want to unlock his door with thieves' tools.
All right.
Now
Make
excuse me while I
dex.
figure out how to roll the thieves' tools.
Yeah, attribute dexterity. All right. The door unlocks silently. You're able to slip your way inside, unseen, unheard by anybody.
All right. I'm gonna look for the rat.
All right. Give me an investigation check. Oh, you hear slight sounds coming from a small room off the main meeting area, which seems to be a small office. He is hunched at a desk that is perfectly sized for being such beings of his height and your height and Grek's height, smaller races, uh, scribbling away, completely oblivious of your existence here.
I want to just flat out just sneak attack him.
Go for it. You have advantage. He's unaware you're there. Wait, do you have assassination? Just curious.
Assassination, like, is that a skill?
Are you? Cause you're level 4. So are you an assassin?
No, I'm a different kind of rogue.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, since he doesn't know you're there and you've got stealth and everything like that, you still get advantage. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Everything lined up right for that. Roll your damage. So you sneak up behind this guy with him completely unaware you're there. Take a moment to line up, right? Judging the thickness of the chair, that it's something that your needle-like rapier could probably easily get through. And you wait a moment and stab at the right time so that it not only goes through his back and out his chest, but directly through his heart, practically severing it from his body. You pull your now dripping blade back, and he just thuds forward into the desk.
Uh, I want to wipe my rapier off with whatever cloth may be around,
All right.
and uh, and then proceed to. Wait, is he dead already?
He's dead. That's an instant kill. This is a commoner we're talking about here.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
You pushed his heart out of his body, basically.
Look, that sometimes doesn't kill people.
It kills commoners.
All right, so I'm going to attempt. I'm going to leave, hopefully undetected.
All right. Give me one more stealth check then.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh no, that's bad. What do? You think you might have been seen by somebody as you're leaving? You don't see who. You just basically you see. It's like nobody stopped to stare at you or anything, but you have got this feeling that's like this itch at the back of your head that you may have been seen leaving.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna turn around back at the door and say, "Hey, thanks for inviting me though." Oh, and then close it behind me.
All right. Roll a persuasion check. One last check, and then we can have you back in the group.
Damn.
All right. All right. So, with Shiyu out of the house, what are the rest of you guys doing?
I'll make dinner.
Do we split it 6 ways or 5 ways, Riz? I forget.
You already split out the money from there.
Okay.
Before recording it in there. That was the remainder money.
I was saying, so we split it for Ash. Ash did take their share.
Yeah. Yeah. Ash already took their share, and that's the money you have remaining.
The reason why I asked is because we had some calculations plugged in chat farther up.
Yeah.
But 5 ways, 4 ways, 6 ways, etc. We're trying to figure out how much money everybody actually gets.
Yeah, we did that properly, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
So that's what everyone would have gotten from the split, basically.
Which one? The 460 one or the 575 or the 383?
383, 166, 6 gold.
Okay.
And I'll put the change back into the thing now. Or into the actual things that I want to do a change into. I knew exactly what we're splitting it.
Mm-hmm. And the weird. Do we want to keep that one spare whatever because of the weird math just in party funds?
Here, I'd put the change basically in the bag of holding for now. We can just keep adding on to that as we have weird numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, cut off whatever's the top to keep whole numbers.
Mm-hmm. Always weird change and figure out we'll just leave the change for party fund if it's
Yep.
the easiest way to do it.
Mm-hmm. So obviously not everyone has to split it up if they want to work on a group project. Ashkar just wants some spending money because there's a couple things he's wanting.
Yeah, I'm gonna add it in mine just because I don't mind having extra little spending money.
Mm-hmm.
So again, what are you guys doing while she is not there?
I'm not making dinner.
Larceny, what are you doing? Zirin, what are you doing?
What time is it about right now?
It's evening. Dark. The darkness has fallen over fallen over this part of the world.
Mm. I guess just while waiting for dinner, he might just go for a short walk, just like not too far, probably like down the block and back.
Okay. Roll perception check.
It's always good when a barbarian goes for a walk.
All right. Yeah, sometime in the evening, as you're out there walking, you do notice Shiu coming back from wherever it was he went. And before we get to that part, Greg, what about you? What are you doing while she is away? Quentin!
I'm just taking a bath.
Okay. So you're
Sorry,
you're in
Christopher.
your bath thing. Okay. Larceny, you back yet? I guess not. Zirin and Nai, what do you do? Shiu, what do you do when you see each other?
Going for a walk as well. He's asking Shio.
Your thing's lighting up green, but I can't hear you.
Yeah,
It's
just,
goddamn muted again, and I don't know why.
there it is.
I was saying that, you know how us nocturnals are. We tend to walk around at what others would think are the worst of hours.
Any fun?
You could say that. Not too much fun, though. It was a bit too easy. Uh,
Oh, too easy.
well, you know, these walks get boring when nothing happens.
Yeah, a lot of things get boring. Nothing happens. That's why I enjoyed that lovely little trip we just had recently.
Well, anyway, I'll be back to the. I'm gonna be walking back to the. I'm blanking here. What is it, like a shack or an actual house?
It's a small house with a single bedroom, a little bit of a living room, and a small kitchen area, with a murder basement and toilet and implements of smoking meat.
Yeah, I'll just go back to the house now.
Walking past, he's gonna kind of turn, give him some through his side eye, basically. Be careful. You don't want to necessarily bring trouble to the doorstep.
Why no? Of course not.
He'll just smile, and he'll just keep doing a little bit of walk before the dinner. It's almost like a patrol, but it's not quite a patrol.
All right, everyone's back in time for dinner. What are you serving?
I'm thinking because I'd already gone out to get stuff, I'll have gotten enough protein, like probably flank steak or something equivalent, or just a very cheap cut. But do that over rice, like a typical like, stir fry sauce, like when you take soy stuff like that, but you have it like over high heat so it reduces down.
Yep.
Nice and rich and filling and warm. I went ahead and subtracted 3 gold for the cost of all the food.
Larceny, you back yet?
Yes, I am.
All right. So what about you? What have you been up to for this evening?
I wanted to go look for a magic shop.
All right. Where at?
Probably in the trade ward.
Oh, that's right. No, it was Shiu that was doing that. So you're going out there by yourself?
If anyone wants to come with.
Engineering's never opposed to going out on a stroll at night or evening. That's where the fun things happen. If you want them to join along, that is. Oh, jeez. You okay?
You okay?
Me?
Somebody
Oh,
sounded like
somebody
they fell.
Oh, no, my chair is just very squeaky, my bad.
Oh, good. If you're going, they're going to offer to join you, but he won't force himself, basically.
Yeah, you can come.
Guard the squishy.
Can I tag along too?
So is this going to be before or after dinner?
Mm,
It could be after.
That'll work. Work off the calories by walking it off.
Alright, so after the trade ward you go. Since you have people helping you, you can roll investigation.
Alright.
I'm sorry, did they say they were going before or after? Because I would like to keep them company if it's after.
After, yeah.
Okay.
You want
I'll use a
With advantage, because you're with people.
oh yeah.
Ooh.
Much better.
Yeah, much better.
So you spot the same knoll that Grek had encountered earlier. They're currently in the process of packing up their shop for the evening. The little outdoor booth stand thing. As you lot approach, he kind of
I'm
pauses,
gonna run up.
looks over at you.
I'm gonna run up and say, "Hey, you guys closed yet?"
Mostly. Can I do something for you?
I was looking for a specific kind of ring.
I have rings. I have, I think, 5 left. What can I do for you?
Do you happen to have a ring of mind shielding?
Oh, yes. And he goes into a little case and plucks out a ring with the picture of a brain on it. I have one of these. Very expensive, though.
How much?
600 gold.
Oh my god.
It's worth the price if you don't want people poking into your head.
True.
I've heard there's beings out west and on the Forbidden Ocean that can do that. At least that's the stories that I grew up hearing.
Are there any other kinds of rings that you have?
I got a ring that'll keep you warm. Got a very much more expensive ring than that mind shielding one. I have a ring for walking on water, or a ring that'll help you swim better.
No, but thank you. I'm gonna walk away.
Do you just sell small magical items?
Yes.
Alright.
Something I can help you with?
If you know where you can find more of the weaponry type.
Weapons. I think those might be more specialty items. I don't sell any weapons.
Do you know where that we could look for at some point? Probably tomorrow.
I don't know, unfortunately. Hi, Lyra.
You'll nod. Yeah, worth a shot.
Anything
How
else
much-
that I can help you with?
How much is that swimming ring again?
The ring of swimming would be 100 gold. It's got a picture of a fish on it.
Not to see what I have left over from them, if I have anything left over from them finding a new weapon. But I might come get that.
Good luck. Anyone else?
I'll come up and just ask pointedly. I'm a bit of a magic feller, but I'm not much educated myself. Anything you might recommend?
Come back during the day during regular business hours?
I'll be happy to. And I'll step back.
And he goes back to packing up his booth items. So, what do you guys do now?
I'm ready to head back if you guys are.
It'd be best to check like over maybe the tight top in the morning.
Yeah.
If they have any kind of more high-end shops, specialty items.
I'll also just look to hit up a blacksmith.
Yeah, some people here could use better armor. Looks more at like Larceny because I think Larceny's the only one of the ones that have joined that actually wears the armor. I think only our rogues wear. Well, maybe Greg.
Funny enough, Ashkar does not.
Yeah.
It was like a leather doublet, but it is not armor.
Yeah, he was like a sorcerer, so.
A draconic sorcerer. So I have, let's just say I have very thick hide.
Yeah, you know.
Does that mean at some point that Ashkar is just going to grow wings and fly away at some point?
You don't know that.
Only if he drinks Red Bull.
No, I'm a red boar. It's different.
When pigs fly.
uh, yeah,
Right,
yeah, nothing else
stable.
for the evening.
It sounds like we're just heading back and shutting down.
Nap time.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Any more tasks for the evening?
Actually, hold on, I got one more.
Alright.
How do you send whispers again?
/W space their name. Once you type part of it, it starts to autofill. At which point I think you can hit enter. You can also just do /W space GM space and it'll go directly to the DM. No need to type out the whole name.
Alright. So everyone roll me perception when you get back.
Perception?
Yep.
I do not
Thanks,
like
Mark.
Chris. I do not like this.
All right. Yeah. So Greg is the first one to notice that once again your little owl friend is not at home. He came back for dinner and then he's left again.
Which friend?
Shiyu, your owl friend.
Owl.
Oh,
He'll
no.
be back.
And
Or
he
he
was
won't.
never, and he was never seen again.
He'll be
Yeah.
back or he won't.
Yeah, he'll be back and gone forever.
And then there were 4.
Do you want to go back to Whisper, Shiyu?
Yeah, I guess so.
Alrighty. Alrighty then. So, with your mission complete, you're able to get back to your guild and talk to your guildmaster.
I forgot the actual name of my guildmaster. Hold on, I need to check my notes.
No, that's the Thieves Guild I'm thinking of. Scarlet Knife. There we go.
That's Zib.
Yes. Zib. Zibraltha. Or Tela Zibraltha Noosh, to be, for his full name. Those in Zygar, basically they have, instead of the personal name being the first or the last, they have dual family names based on matrilineage or either matriarchal or patriarchal lineage, like first or last, depending. So they have a combination of both their parents' last names, and both to honor both the lines. It's so they have their personal name in the middle.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so there's members of your guild in attendance. And Zib is waiting for you. Is it done?
Yes, it was finally done, and it was cleanly as I think I could possibly ever do.
No witnesses then?
I do not believe so.
He kind of gives you this staring, tigerish tabaxi look. I take it you did not get encountered by guards, were not seen doing the actual killing, but perhaps seen departing or something?
Well, if I was seen departing, I tried to make it look as innocent as possible, as if I were just visiting a friend.
Do you have an exit strategy from the city in case you need it?
I have wings, don't I?
That you do, little bird, that you do. And he kind of gets up from behind his chair and goes to a decanter and pours 2 tumblers and sets one in front of you. The good news is that if you need to leave, you will still be able to find work, legitimate work, in Zygar. We also have a few other branches if you wish to go further.
But of course, there's nothing I can do better.
Alright. And he teaches you what boils down to like a hand signal with a series of like noises that you can reproduce. Basically a secret signal to give a fellow member to prove that you are a member of the guild if you need to run to another guild hall in another city. It's like, it's too
Alright.
complex for me to try to figure out what the hell the signals would be. So
All
it's
right,
just
all right.
secret guild signal.
Let me just write some stuff down in my notes. All right, wrote it down.
All right. Is there any other business you wish to attend to with the guild at this moment, or do you wish to hop back into the rest of the story?
Yeah, I'll hop back into the rest of the story.
All right.
Yeah. He's a smart man.
Hey, Grizz.
Hello.
So barbarian with 11 intelligence.
So-
Fine.
So do we come home to see the, or after we get home, do we get swarmed by guards? Do the police raid the compound?
No.
Okay.
No. It was just Greg notices that she was not there.
All is quiet on the Western Front.
I feel like Zirian is going to go sleep in this chair like he normally does, just facing the front door.
Eventually, Chiyu comes home.
Like a stern parent just waiting there. Where have you been?
He's asleep, but he probably, when the door opens, he probably looks up.
Cox opens an eye.
Yeah. Noticing it's just Shio, he probably goes back to sleep unless Shio looks worried or panicked.
If I may ask, is he wearing a dress and did he take off his heels? Is this a walk of shame?
Oh dear. They're all speculating as to what you do when you vanish, Chiyu.
She is a lady of the night.
It's a legitimate occupation, there are brothels around.
We're not shaming him. I'm just asking for the sake of humor.
Yeah.
If you are asking if I screw people for money, the answer is no.
Do you screw people over for money?
In a way, yes.
Well, even I do that.
Yeah, Hey, on that regard.
I'm just using the skills I was given.
As am I.
Zirian's not going to question and come back from the late hours. He's just going to be like, okay, go sleep.
Flying away from combat and says, I'm just using the skills I was given.
All right. So, the next day. What does everyone wish to do the next day?
The quest board?
I was thinking after breakfast, Shooty wanted to see if you can sell the things. Anyway, help you with that. Then I wanted to check the tight top warden for a magic shop. That's more my specialties for weaponry.
Yes, that would sound Yes, that would sound quite preferable.
I'd like to come with if any of you don't mind.
More
I'd like to join as well. Look for items that might be able to augment my own resources.
more to marry.
Shopping trip.
It seems like a shopping episode. And this is a good point for a quick break. And meet you
Perfect.
back here shortly.
I will be right back.
You good, Dank? I don't think it. Wait, what? Wait. Sorry, Dank. For whatever reason, one of your messages just popped up in Discord. That you sent like 30 minutes ago. God, Discord is dumb sometimes.
You're good.
Correct.
Yipper didn't say nothing.
Yeah.
I am back.
Woot. I think we're waiting on one other person?
I am back as well.
You just gonna lay there, Lyra? That typing sounds very angry.
Yeah, it's it's not that I'm typing; it's that I'm having to move around and having to make very split second
Yeah, I was just wondering if
instant
you.
reaction
I was just
movements.
wondering if you can mute while you're
Yeah.
typing that angrily. Thanks. Okay, so coming up. There's Ron.
Mm-hmm.
You can jump up, little one. Hello, Fluffy. See? You jumped up. Hi, Vax. You gonna climb the back of my chair? Are you climbing my chair?
Is everybody here now?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So, you guys had decent sleeping in your normal positions. Chair, curled up on the bed, curled up on the floor, all that sort of good stuff. It is now morning. Tresselcon 28.
Yay.
We mentioned potentially shopping day. I'm probably gonna try to get some nicer clothing.
Alright.
I don't really need anything.
It's the 28th, so that means it's Gam Day.
What does that mean?
End of the week. It's the equivalent of Saturday. The days of the month are Baham Day, Tia Day, Pelor Day, Hope Day, One Day, Trav Day, Quay Day, and Gam Day. I think I have an article for the calendar. Hold on. Nope. That's just a calendar reference point. But yeah, that means it's the gala is on a Pelor Day, since it's the first of Isilpri.
Oh, can I go to my support group?
So instead of shopping, you're heading out to support group. Is anyone going with you?
They're not welcome. So no.
Are we talking about the same support group? What about me?
Maybe Owlman, but the rest of them no.
Okay.
Oh wait, no wait, I'm going shopping today. Never mind.
So whoever's going to shopping, please go to whatever ward you wish to try to go shopping in.
Well, we were gonna go as a group to the trade ward to see if we could sell these potions. I think, right?
It was a trader or a tie top, one of the two.
Yeah. And also, as a player, I wasn't sure what would even be the best district for like magic items, because I could see the guild ward being like that as well, or being a good place for magic items, like an artisan kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at the very least, we know the trade reward seems to only have the minor magic items, so we might want to check something first. Buying it somewhere else, but selling it, we might be able to sell it here. It is a trade reward.
All right. Quentin, high or low?
Hi.
All right, you go second. So, out in the trade ward, who is captaining the search for a place to sell your magical items today?
Who can find things the best?
Not me.
Both cats are now in here looking very cute. One of them is sitting on top of my computer looking outside. The other one is being petted by me.
Got a +3 in my investigation.
And because you're in a group, you may roll advantage.
So do I roll?
You roll advantage for investigation.
Alright.
All right. After about 3 hours of searching around in vain, you finally start talking to people. None of which can point you in the good direction of a magic shop, other than the knoll that you found selling rings. But you did have several people say that, there's really no shops like that around, but you might want to go into the guild ward. You might be able to sell them at the various magic guilds. They usually buy stuff like that. And we will, since that took 3 hours, we are now switching over to Greg. Greg, you get down. Do you want to do this in whispers?
Sure.
All right. All right. So you get down to the door of the, the place that you go to. It is unlocked, but it is very quiet.
I'll knock and I'll walk in.
No one answers your knock. You walk in, and an odor hits your nose. The odor of death.
I know this man.
The coppery tang of blood is in the air. What do you do?
I got invisibility.
All right, you're now invisible.
I go investigate with the blood odor.
You find yourself.
Stealthily.
You find yourself in a room. Inside, you find the slumped over in a small office room, basically off the main room. You find the slumped over body of the leader of the Purity chapter. It looks as if he's been stabbed through the back. Parts of his heart are exposed. The desk is splattered with his blood. And there is a piece of cloth nearby that looks like it had blood wiped off on it.
Can I see the entry wound and try to make an assumption about the height of the murderer, depending on the
Make a medicine check.
angle of the blade? This better not be from equal or lower height. I don't know.
You have no idea. I mean, this guy's your height, but you don't. You're. Wait a minute. What weapon do you use again?
Knife?
That's true. You can do this at advantage. You know knife type wounds.
I have a -1.
Yeah, you have no idea. You're like, yeah, this guy's been stabbed.
He's been stabbed.
I don't know anything else.
Um, I'm gonna look at the cloth, see if I maybe recognize it
All right.
from like a weird old person. I'm already
Sorry.
suspecting party members.
Sorry. I'm really bad at not laughing. Um,
It's fine.
no,
It's fine.
no, this is clearly off of the off of a piece of fabric that was from this room, like a scrap of tablecloth.
Hmm. Can I search the room for stuff?
Sure. What are you looking for anything particular, or you just want to roll investigation?
No, it's maybe something secretive, a hidden desk or something.
All right.
Something that could lead to the killer. I don't know. I'm rolling good today.
You spend a couple of minutes looking around, and you don't find anything. As far as you can tell, someone snuck in, stabbed this guy, snuck back out, and nothing. It did nothing else.
This is in the Traveler's World, right?
Yep. Where law and order does not shine.
Can I look for the deed?
All right. I'll give you one more investigation check to see if you can figure out where the deed to this place is. Oh God. All right. So you failed to find any clues as to the killer, but you think to go into the desk, and you find a locked compartment. However, the slumped over dead body happens to have the key to that compartment, and you quickly push it open and find that there is some paperwork basically stating that this if anybody that finds this, please allow him for my if I am dead, blah blah blah. Please allow for my brother to continue on in my steed. That well, this place is mined by the rights of the Travelers Ward. Uh, Yada yada yada. Basically signed by a King Gusium Arilo. And it lists the brother as Contrelic Arilo.
I'm gonna move the body out of this chair.
Alright, give me a strength check.
Oh God.
You try, but you're not a very strong frog boy. All you do is shift the body and it kind of slumps.
Is there like a box in this room?
No.
Anything I can stand on?
The desk is your height. It's size height for beings of your size.
Okay, I'll lean over the desk. I'll put down the paper, the deed next to me. I'll go into my pocket. I pull out the toolkit, and I take out some paper, and I span some stamps, and I try to make a forgery of this document.
Make a forgery check with either dexterity or intelligence, your choice.
Which one's higher? Probably dexterity. Please. That's pretty decent.
Mm-hmm. Alright. So you spend a little work and you have forged yourself something. What is the nature of this forgery?
Basically, it's the same deed, but instead of the brother, it's mine. So this is my house. I'm gonna become a landlord in the Traveler's Ward. That's my goal. So I'm adding this property to my properties. If that's possible.
What are you gonna do about the body?
I'm gonna grab him. I'm gonna teleport into my lamp. I'm gonna drop him in my lamp. I'm gonna take a bath for an hour. Then I'm gonna come out of the lamp. And then I'm gonna clean up.
Yeah, there's not much to clean up. There's basically just the cloth with the blood on it and the chair with a hole through it.
Yeah.
Oh, and some splatters of blood on the desk. But yeah, the basically this guy was killed instantly.
Okay. Stupid me. I just incriminated myself.
Yeah, especially since you have a body.
I mean, no one can get to the body. And I'm
True.
planning on dumping it. The problem is, if someone finds the body and there's frog goop on it, that's not gonna look good for me, is it?
Especially since your character, you as a player might know what's going on here, but your character probably has no clue about who killed this guy.
It's probably
Not
the
with the-
tall people. Them racists.
The purity people are the racists.
What? No, it's the tall people hating us. It's not okay. We are fighting for our rights, and we get murdered for doing so. Anyway, I'm basically gonna check out my new house and see how many rooms I have and such.
All right. Give me an intelligence check, by the way.
Straight up intelligence.
Yep. All right. You realize that because there's no real legal standing on a lot of these things, the forged documents are basically just the equivalent of gentlemen's handshake agreements, sort of. What you're really gonna need is you're gonna need a new set of locks on the door before someone else with a set of keys to this place comes in, realizes what's happened, and changes the locks themselves.
God damn it, the body with the keys is in the lamp, and I can't get into the lamp for another 24 hours. God damn it!
Actually, you took out the keys, remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because it was one of the basically you found keys on this guy, and one of them fit the lockbox in the desk.
Yeah.
I didn't think you would put them right back into the body. So
Fair.
you're holding keys. You're holding paperwork showing that this is now your place.
I'm gonna lock all the doors and I'm gonna buy new locks.
All right.
That's my goal. I'm also not gonna tell them I have a new house. It's mine. I have my own house.
Are you gonna go out looking for your companions? Or you're just gonna go to the trade ward to get the locksmithing stuff done.
I'm gonna do that because they don't need to know that.
All right. I'm gonna see
I
how
did locks
I'm gonna
stuff.
figure out to see how much this might cost. To get your
Yeah.
locks.
I mean, I got 200 gold. Can't
Yeah,
be that much, can it?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if it's comparable to real world. If so, it'll probably cost a couple silver. You know, because I bought a place a couple years ago, so I had to change the locks on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I couldn't find any D&D things. So basically, you're gonna take 5 silver out of your inventory. Yeah, 5 silver out of your inventory, and pay for that.
I'm gonna give him 6, both because I'm a nice guy who gives people who work hard extra money, and because now it's a nice number.
Mm-hmm. And I'll get back to you later about how many rooms there, but it's actually a pretty nice house. I mean, the other place you found was very squeezed in, you know, very little room, basically a shack. This
It's a good room for the
this
house.
one, the really big room in the middle with the meeting room. There's already furniture sized for you versus the other place where everything was twice your size.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah, there are like other chairs for guests and taller people, but
Mm-hmm.
because you know they weren't. It's not like the only people at that meeting were small. It's just that you know the majority were. All right. Also, because of that intelligence check, you realize that you're probably going to have to make something up and be very persuasive about it when talking to A, other members of the purity cult, and B, to this brother mentioned in the will.
I'm just gonna murder him. It's fine.
Oh, joy.
What brother? I don't know any brother.
Alright.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Oh, the wreck.
Okay,
Hey,
yeah.
everything's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, everything's fine. So, what are you guys doing?
I think we were going to go to the guild ward now because of what we were told, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, so you're basically in the guild ward by the time that Greg comes around to go shopping in the trade ward for something.
Chris, shut up.
I'm not telling them what. I'm just saying there's something you're buying.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Frog flashlight.
Yes, we'll do yes for whoever wishes to be the eyes. And the mouth.
Alright, I shall roll an investigation check because Larceny and I literally have the exact same fucking investigation.
Tell me what I see.
That is fucking rubbish.
You get
Oh,
yeah,
right.
as I said, you
Oh
get
yeah, advantage, right,
because
sorry.
you're in a group.
Yep, forgot, hold on. That is not much better.
Yeah, but the only ones you think as you're wandering around the guild ward that might buy what your potions might actually be the Order of the Purple Dragon. Zirin, you also said you were looking for some place to buy weapons.
Yeah, he'll probably wait until after we sell, just to.
Okay.
Just to make sure we have the money.
Yeah. Weapons are expensive. Magic items are expensive.
So, what do you guys wish to do?
Head to the place
Yeah.
to sell the potions, or attempt to.
But honestly, sorry, Ashkar's so quiet. He's like not an educated fellow. He wouldn't even know what the magic items are that would help him. So he's just kind of following along.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we're gonna go off to the Order of the Purple Dragon in order to try to sell these potions. Yeah.
Yep, seems like it.
Yeah, so was it just Greg that met with them, and that you guys actually the rest of you hadn't met the Order of the Purple Dragon?
Ashkar didn't exist at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Zyrion's met any guild other than dancing ones.
I haven't met any.
All right. So, do you just walk in, or how do you wish to do this? You do find you are pointed to the guild hall with the purple dragon kind of like emblem over it.
I mean, let's give an indication not to walk in Zyrian would.
Hello?
Nice. You hear me?
I heard you. I'm waiting. Waiting for the people who said they actually want to sell stuff, because I figured they would be the ones to take charge of this.
I'm chilling.
Yeah, I have nothing to sell anymore. So what's up, potion boy? You gonna peddle your wares?
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Uh, yeah,
Muted again?
my thing just stopped working for some
Aw.
reason.
That sucks.
Hmm.
So now that's working again. So, uh, I don't know much about this guild, so I guess I'll just walk in because I literally don't know how else to handle this guild.
Alright. You kind of hear a lively and spirited debate that concerns something to do with magic going on in a nice room with a big table and, books and chairs and two, most likely mages sitting around it. Don't even seem to notice as you walk in. One is a human man, and the other one is a dragonborn with light red scales. Both are dressed in purple robes.
Can I try listening in better to try to understand what they're talking about, or try to hear what they're talking about?
Make an Arcana check. We seem to be having some discussion about magical theory. Kind of debating on how proper portals might work, and whether or not somebody ever created them that caused the events of the Third Age.
I'm just gonna I'm just gonna clear my throat to see if I can get their attention.
They both kind of talk and start looking over towards you. The human kind of smiles a little bit and says, I'm sorry, are you looking to join the guild, or do you have business? Is there something you need?
Yes. I've been looking all over for a place to sell these potions that us
Oh,
not too long ago. I've already identified them.
ah. Do you have magical skill?
No, but I do know, but I did know somebody who
Ah,
did.
he nods. All right, then let us take a look at the potions. What do you offer today?
Well, I have here is a elixir of health, a superior potion of healing. Give me a second. A potion of heroism, and four diminution. What? How do you pronounce this?
I can't even pronounce it. I'm sorry.
Diminutive?
Dim, diminution. Diminution.
Molly potion.
The the potion that makes you larger or smaller depending on what your choice is.
Oh, I see. Well, we might be interested in taking those off your hands. Let's see here. So you said diminution. You said heroism. Said superior healing. The diminution potions, those are quite nice. So, how many potions altogether?
7.
Are they all rare or just running on commons?
All of them are rare.
Alright. So, let's see here.
I would just like to say that the fact that I managed to roll these are completely absurd, and I still think that it's stupid.
Yeah, it is. Well, I could take that. We could take those off your hands for a cool 13,000 gold. Sorry. 42,000 gold.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Sorry. Yeah, I was looking at it and realized I just did the math wrong. I rolled a 6 for the halved gold, rare gold pricing amount, and then it was times 7, not plus 7.
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable price for these potions of these rarities.
Hmm. And if you have a friend, again, who has identified these, if they are not already a member of the guild, perhaps they'll want a membership.
Oh, it's this Wolven with gills over in the tight top.
Oh,
I
no,
don't
yes,
know.
we do know him. He is a member of the guild. That would be Gothoris. Oh, I take it you were the ones that then helped him recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, these are these potions we actually found while helping.
Yes. Well, he did not want to bring them back to the guild, so instead we have to pay for them. Well, he kind of shrugs.
Well,
Perhaps
well,
he'll
he
be interested in
agreed to.
doing other jobs for the guild at some point.
Well, he made an agreement with us that we would be able to keep whatever sort of thing we found, other than what he was looking for in that temple.
Yes, payment. Part of the payment.
Well, I believe it's quite nice. So, is there anything else we can help you with? Perhaps another job?
Oh, do you know where we can purchase some more magical equipment, like weaponry and armor, or even just better armor?
They kind of look over at each other and smile a bit. You know what? We do have several pieces that we might be able to sell back to you.
There's the group.
Yeah, that sounds agreeable.
Excellent. The Red Dragonborn gets up and shuffles off. Where is my... Umat is just going to go grab a couple and see what you like. Weapons or armor? The Dragonborn kind of looks over you.
I specifically am looking for weapons.
Long sword battle axes or shields would be the only things I'm looking for. Otherwise, I guess anything that keeps me safer.
He nods.
I'm looking for leather armor myself.
He nods and heads off.
Okay.
While we wait, is there anything I can get? Is there anything you folk need? Come, sit.
Well, what did Asker say? I thought Asker said something.
Well, I was gonna ask about something else, but he already left. It's fine.
Yeah, he comes back and gets something off if we need to. Zero, take the offer to sit.
Here's your
So what?
here's y'all's new
Yeah.
That is a lot of shinies.
There's a lot of shinies. I don't know if we can carry all that on one person.
Well, that's what the
It's
pack's
fine.
for.
That's what Platinum's for as well. So, the Dragonborn comes back with a bag of holding. Comes over to the table and starts pulling a few things out. You said something about axes?
One-handed, possibly.
Hmm.
He kind of points to the shield on his back. Hard to hold both of them with a big hand weapon.
Well, do have a small hand axe. Kind of pulls it out. Has a nice sharp edge. It works fine against constructs. It's got a little bit of a magic touch to it. This would be a hand axe +1. And sets that aside. You said shield as well?
Yeah, especially as shields, swords, battle axes. Those are my usually go-tos. That's from my end, at least.
But I do have a sentinel shield. Kind of pulls that out. The symbol of the eye in the middle of it. And part with that. What about the rest of you?
I myself use a more fine sort of weapon.
What do you mean by fine?
Well, I'm just gonna kind of draw my rapier.
He's not a strong feller.
I see. Are you looking for something that does more damage or something that's easier to use? Perhaps something that gives a warning. Or a dagger, perhaps.
What do you mean by easier to use?
Well, weapons enchanted much like that axe over there. Gesturing at the hand axe. That would be basically a rapier +1.
And what would be the other ones?
Well, a weapon that does more damage, a dagger, one that gives warning.
I'll just settle for the rapier +1.
Alright, so it's another +1 weapon. Who's next?
I want to know if there's any magical light armor.
Ah, that's right. You were the one that wanted this. All right. Well, I can offer you armor of resistance. He pulls a set of leather armor out from the bag. It appears to be yellow in color.
Not too bright for my liking.
I think
Give me away too easy.
I think this is the only one I have, but you can probably dress it up with something.
Nah.
There's also, I believe I do also have a set of glamour-studded armor in this bag.
Do you happen to have any rings as well?
Let's see. Roll a 1d100. Ah, yes, actually, I have a ring of free action if you're interested.
No, that doesn't sound too interesting to me.
Well, I just figured if you're
Uh,
interested in not being seen, this one also keeps you from being restrained or paralyzed.
Mm.
No. Thank you, though.
Syrian pipes up, looks at that like, what? Mm.
And so is there anything that you feel is interesting for you?
No, I think I'm good.
And you? He looks over at at the chef.
Well, I was just wondering if you had anything for us more magically minded fellers.
Such as?
Admittedly, I'm not much of a notable one myself, so I'm not sure what to even ask for. There's something that makes my spells better.
A wand, perhaps?
Would definitely be interesting. But
Or a staff?
I've never been much of a wizardly folk myself. My magic has been more from inside. It comes out through my cooking, so I personally prefer to use this. What kind of brandishes wok? So I'm not really sure what to ask for. What would you recommend?
It depends on what you like using.
Lots of fire. I'm a bit of a pyro myself.
Hmm.
I've heard that for those of us whose magic comes out naturally, there's a few things that can help, but I was never told as to what they might be.
Well, if you're interested in things that cause fire, perhaps a wand of fireballs.
Oh, that would definitely be interesting.
Kind of pulls out a straight-looking stick with a few arcane drawings in it. That one is quite useful for the fire-minded.
Oh, that would definitely be interesting. How? What does it run?
Well, I imagine I can probably sell that. We could probably sell it for. For
What was the price? The audio cut out right as you said.
I hadn't said it yet.
Okay, cool.
7,000 gold. I was doing the roll.
Okay. Admittedly, that's more than I've ever spent.
So price of the shield would be. Damn your shield. Where'd you go? Was it the Sentinel shield I told you?
Sentinel, yeah.
Hi, Lyra. Yes, I know. You happen to currently be squatting on top of my books, so of course I'm moving you around a little. Alright. He'd be willing to sell you that for the shield for 400. Each of the +1 weapons is 300. So anyone buying a +1 weapon, it's 300. Shield is 400. Ring of free action.
I was
Is
wondering if I could get that ring because as a person who can fly, if I get restrained in midair, I will drop like a rock.
yeah.
This is fair.
If you're interested in the ring of free action, that's only 2,000 gold.
If she wants it, she can have it.
I'll
Be
go
probably
with that.
beneficial that way.
I'll take that.
I just want to pass on it. He only had the. What were the plus weapons he had?
It was offering an axe and a rapier. 300 gold
Yeah.
for +1 weapons.
Yeah, the hand axe is too small for Zyrion's liking. And he doesn't really use rapiers.
I was gonna buy the rapier though, as well.
So I was tried for hound, right? And I will add that shield.
Anything else we can do for you? The excited-looking human mage says he's been busy packaging up the potions that you sold him.
Do you happen to have anything that would make me better at hiding?
He kind of looks over at Umat and Umat seems to be thinking for a moment. Better at hiding. Hold on, I might have something. And he pulls out a very nice looking cloak. This is very rare. This is fairly rare these days. The crafters who knew the skill, they're long dead now, as far as we know. Unfortunately, the techniques to make one has been lost with them, so it's more than the majority of items. He's showing you a Cloak of Elvenkind.
How much for it?
6,000 gold.
I will give you that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to remind myself for this campaign things like that are specific to certain racial groups that don't exist. Either don't exist here at all, or at least one.
Or long dead.
Yeah, or are worth more. Like, for example, this would be considered rare instead of uncommon. So, therefore, it gets the rare pricing instead of the uncommon pricing. Yeah, because basically, even if elves exist, one or two that could call themselves an elf still exists, the culture of elves is gone. It's been pretty much homogenized into humanity in general during the other wars that took place during the Third Age and after the Third Age.
Yeah, I'll take that. And then it's pretty much all my money.
And the guild people seem to be pleased about being able to sell off some of their excess items and make back some of that money, and now they have potions. So they appear to be happy about this.
Hey, everyone's happy.
So, Greg, other than the item that you needed to buy while you were out, what are you currently doing?
I'm gonna buy nice looking clothes because I want to look fancy.
All right. That should be under the fancy clothes price in the book. I want to say, let's see, what is that? Is that 15 gold or is that 75 gold?
Go super 75?
I was trying to remember how expensive they were, because I remember that fancy clothes were actually worth pretty penny.
Yeah, but I'm like half the size of a normal person, so it should be half the size, right?
No.
Right?
No.
That would mean it costs double for me because I'm chubby.
Have you ever seen the price of children's clothes?
I'm not a child though.
This I one. For you.
Yes.
Um,
I'm just saying is
mm, that's fine.
Uh,
so you're getting clothes. I said you should be able to just find the price in the book.
Cole's fine is 15 gold.
Okay, fine clothes are 15 gold. Sorry, I thought there was.
I'm gonna buy for 30. I want them to be very fancy.
Extra fine.
Extra fine.
So yeah, you basically have clothes that would be good on somebody in the tight tap ward, which means you could easily blend in as a guest at a party in the trade ward.
Good. I have my own house. I mean, we have our house.
What do each of you do next after what you've been doing?
I'm gonna break off from here and go to the Dancing Swords Guild Hall and ask about the gala thing.
Yeah. That's in a few days. The first of Iselpry. Oh, sorry, sweetie. Didn't mean to poke you with my headphone. You happen to be standing there. Sorry. Dance of Blades. What the? That shouldn't be it. That note should not be there. Okay. So you're going there. You're greeted cordially by the people in the guild hall, and you're asking specifically about the gala.
Yeah, to see if there's any jobs related to it with the guild.
Yes. It is a fancy party. We are going to be running security for it. And it's actually in the trade ward, not the tight top. Half the galleries are in the trade. Sorry, some of the galleries are in the tight top. Some are in the trade ward. Some are in the guild ward. Sometimes get confused about which is where, but we cleared that all up. The Vitash Gallery.
Oh, I see. Do we? So will I be running security for this as well?
As a member of the guild, refresh my memory. You joined this. This was the guild that some of you guys joined, right?
Yeah. This is the one I rolled a nat 20 on showing my sword skills.
Hell yeah. So yeah, yes, as a member of the guild, you should be attending this. It'd be in your best interest to be part of this endeavor.
All right. So do I just show up to the gala, or do I have to go here first and then?
You come here, and we will go as a unit, making sure that you are dressed properly and well armed.
All right, understood.
The point of the dance, the point of the Dance of Blades, is to be security, but also not be necessarily noticed as security. To basically blend in for the guests' comfort, but to be wary in case there are felonious individuals about. Mainly, the thought will be to stop thieves, but it is also a good idea to watch for vandals and potential crazies. And of course, there'll be drink, so perhaps also be careful of drunks.
Will I have to pick? Will I have to pick out my own clothing, or will I be provided dress?
If you do not have a set of fine clothes, we can dress you for the evening.
All right, understood. I will bring my own clothing.
All right.
I will. All right, then I will be here in 6 days then.
That would be 3 days.
3 days. Sorry, I am fog brained right now.
It's okay. Yeah, today is the 28th of Tresselkin. There are 30 days in a month. So the first of Eiselpry will be in 3 days.
3 days then.
Well, actually,
Okay.
more like 2 days at this point, but yeah.
2.5, I guess.
Yeah. Like, not tomorrow, not the day after, but the day after. Yeah, 3 days. So, yeah.
All right, and with that, I will leave the dancing blades.
Dance of Blades.
Dance of blades.
So Greg is buying fine clothes. You're buying fine. You're.
I don't have to go buying fine clothes.
Anyone else?
Zirn's gonna try to look around and maybe even eventually go to the Tight Top if he needs to. See if he can find a magical longsword or battle axe.
You specifically said axe that you could use with a shield.
Yeah, a battle axe is a versatile weapon.
Oh, that's the only reason I said hand axe. I thought a hand axe was the battle axe that you were looking for. So
No.
sorry, he would have had the
Okay.
the proper sized axe for that for 300 gold. My bad.
Okay.
I misunderstood. I thought you decided against buying that after you wanted to buy the shield and other stuff.
No.
Yeah. Battle axe is the versatile one. The fucking great axe is the two-handed one.
Yeah.
It's weird because like in some games battle axes are the great axe and it's weird.
Yeah.
I got confused by it when I was playing another game recently. It's like, wait, am I sure it sounds small? Other than that, he might go to the trade, then go to trade ward and get that ring for the swim one.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, you'd be sold the swimming ring for 100 gold.
Yeah, so I'll just mark off 400 and I'll add both of those.
I would also like to go over there and get the mind shielding ring.
For 600. All right. Anyone else doing anything?
Nothing for me right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over to the trade ward and get my fine clothing.
Right. That's easy enough.
What was really expensive that place?
The ring of mind shielding. I thought somebody just bought that.
I
No, they're
did,
really
but I was
expensive. Sorry. Sorry, it's like the one in the thousands. Yeah, sorry. That one. That I hadn't actually rolled to see how many thousands, but I just noticed that it was rare and not uncommon. That one is actually a ring of animal influence. This ring has 3 charges and regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. While wearing this ring, you can use an action to expend one of its charges to cast the following spells: Animal Friendship, Fear, and Speak with Animals. I can make a roll to see how much it costs if you like.
No, I'm good. That doesn't have anything to do with me.
Alright.
I'm gonna also attune that ring to me.
Attuning takes a while, remember?
Oh yeah, how long?
It takes an hour.
Oh yeah, right, never mind.
A short rest.
Alright, yeah, I'll do that whenever I get back.
Alrighty then. Greg.
Darian is a happy camper.
Go ahead, Darren. Ah,
No, you're good. I was
yeah, you
messing around.
spent the obscene amount of money that you ended up with, and yet you guys are still living in a hovel in the Traveler's Ward.
Where all the fun things are.
Well, that's
Hey
true.
man, you only gotta pay. You don't have to pay taxes if your house is technically not a house.
That's true. But also, if they ever decide they want to come in and just remove everybody from the Traveler's Ward, there's really nothing to stop them other than a mob.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's basically squatters' rights there. Anybody that's squatting in a place that, is basically just defending it from other people, saying, yeah, my territory, not yours. But most people are polite and cordial about it. Most people. Anyone else doing anything today?
Honestly, I can't really think of anything. No
So
jobs,
just-
really, or other tasks that I can think of.
So do I just add the fine clothing to my thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm. Yeah, I got nothing.
Quentin? Quentin! Little frogman?
Quitting?
Did we lose our frog boy?
Can you hear me?
No,
Now we
We
can.
can now.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, what? Mike's working then. Why do you want me?
What about you? What are you doing?
I bought some fancy clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do the thing with the thing I bought so the thing doesn't thingy. That thing is.
that's specific.
Yeah, Chris
Alright.
knows.
And what about the other thing that you had in there?
What do you mean? Oh, that thing, that's for later.
Okay, so you're still carrying that. Got it.
Oh, who's gonna find it? It's fine. It's in an interdimensional space. It's
I know, but you're still holding on to
cozy.
it. I'm just checking.
So that's problem for later. Anyway, I'm doing the thing with the thingy with the thing.
Party members are all staring.
At
Anyway,
what?
no. It's just that a physical table. If we were all sitting around a physical table, I imagine everyone would be staring at the two of us.
It's fine. They don't need to know. The owl gets his free time. We don't know what he did. Shouldn't we be worried about that?
Yes.
He's
Frog
like
gets
Rook.
Frog gets his free time. Nobody knows what he's doing. And the one time you did get a glimpse. What did he do? He got dropped out of the sky in his bottle, and then he left a poisoned rat with a guy he was conning.
Conning. I didn't con him.
You
I
could
mean,
you were a
gave him
genie.
his wishes.
I would like to attune to my reigning cloak.
All
When
right.
I get back.
I feel suspicious because the owl is on my trail.
Whoo!
On your heels.
My frog legs.
The owl and the frog are just circling each other. You ever seen the picture of a frog inside an owl's mouth?
Don't say that. Frog's gonna shit his pants.
You ever see that picture of a frog just eating a bird?
Yeah, but not an owl.
I mean, depends on the size of the owl, right?
Well, it's a barn owl, so it's a pretty big fucking owl. I guess I'm more of a medium elf.
Whoo! Whoo! Yeah, well, as far as the game sizing is concerned, you are small. You're not Mr. Owl from Rusty Lake.
I'll be honest, as a player, I really can't think of anything else to do while we're part of the thing. Ashkar's a very simple soul.
Is there more to be done in the meanwhile? That's not going to take too long.
Maybe.
Go ahead, sure.
No, you don't hear anything. You're good.
Cool.
Sounded suspicious, Grizz. I don't know if it's cool.
You ever read the full text on Ring of Mind Shielding?
Sorry?
I was just saying something to Quinn.
Oh, okay.
What do you, the Ring of Mind Shielding, it protects you from being mind read and,
Read the entire
I mean,
text.
you can let it in. I mean, I don't have the ring, so.
Well, I mean,
Can't read as much.
it's in the book, so yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, I'm confused.
I mean, if anything, Zuri might just check the quest board and the driver's board, see if there's anything that's quick and easy to do.
They're always looking for
Or
dock
even-
workers.
Or even like, wasn't there another like job thing? No, it wasn't a board. It was a place. Dragon Square.
Wasn't that part of the Secure Ward quest line? So if I recall right, the two you got from the quest from the Dragon Square and the quest giver's temple was the one for the Secure Ward and the one for the expedition
Yeah.
you just finished. I believe you've now finished both of those.
Yep. There's only other place you can think of that might have a job, but he doesn't want to take something that's gonna pull him away from that party necessarily.
Yeah.
So he might just wait until after the party, unless something interesting pops up. But it'll probably just be making good use of that shield.
Put the rest of my money in the bag of holding.
Sure. Just let me know how much you're adding into it.
Let me look.
Yeah, if it's-
8,032 gold.
So 8,000.
Oh wait, there's one last thing that I want to do.
What's
So
that?
whose gold?
I want to buy a regular studded leather armor because I'm still using regular leather.
Regular armor, regular armor?
I want to buy regular studded leather armor because I'm still using just leather armor.
You want studded leather? You mean?
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you said regular twice and I was confused.
Sorry, I misspoke.
Hence why I was confused. Alright, so that's just the book price. Yeah, I'm convinced that bags of holding are mostly there for money.
Yeah. I just put a note on there that 8,032 was larcenies, so that way we remember it. Because otherwise, as a player, I will forget.
Yeah.
Items are easy to remember. Money is not when you start mixing it into a pile.
Very much so.
I just feel like Zirian, being where he's from, is used to handling money.
He's just an accountant.
Oh, good.
So, the question being, is there anything, any interactions, anything in particular you wish to do outside of the party? Because you spent money on items, you have done other things that not all the rest of your party knows about. Some of you did. You finished up business like that. So it sounds like you're ready for the next step, which would be primarily in 2 weeks. Because I have plans for it.
This is fair. Yeah, unless Zirian... Unless we're assaulted, I think Zirian's pretty much just...
Good for him.
He is not buying fine clothes. He is just gonna wear what he's wearing. Which is technically fine clothes, just might not be as in the greatest condition.
Well, there is a skull that's involved there. What about the rest of you?
Yeah, I'm just gonna let some time pass.
Me as well.
No interactions you wish to get done, no conversations, no nothing?
Nope.
Alright.
Not that I can think of.
Alright, and as I said, that is where I have plans to pick up for next session. As a matter of fact. That,
Sounds good.
yeah. Yeah, because it's one of those things that whether the gala goes long or short, if certain events could happen that could cause the gala to be very short indeed, and could have accidentally been packed into this, the remaining time. But my plans for the gala, basically, I don't really want to stop in the middle of it because for reasons, and so I'd rather have it, finish reading over my notes for it, make sure I actually have the notes, including character names written out, so that I'm not sitting here with my brain fogging going, what? Who? Which happens sometimes during the stupid weather. I hate weather sickness. Hate it. It's like, just, you feel fine, and then the weather turns crappy, and suddenly your brain is fogged. It's like, well, yeah, good thing I took notes.